Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packers post-game chat with LeRoy Butler. I'm Tom Silverstein, your host. And the Green Bay Packers are officially NFC North champs, and they are now in position. They control their own destiny for home field advantage, but it was not an easy game. Did you ever have a feel that this was going to get away from them at some point?
No, I really didn't. I mean, because it seemed like to me that Detroit's game plan, Tom, and to the fans were to double Devontae Adams, to make Aaron Rodgers make throws, because they were going to double him, single everybody else. That's why MVS had 6 catches and a touchdown. He had to be the guy. They wanted to put all the pressure on him. So he was able to, him and Tunyon and the guys were able to sustain some of these drives. And then you got a chance to see Aaron Jones every now and then run tough, by the way. So, and that was the thing. My thing is the defense going to always kind of give up something. You would feel like they're still kind of working through some things. But Aaron Rodgers was truly amazing, the way he can, dictate, when safeties are doubled and moving around, we can go to the run instead of the pass. That, to me, seemed to be one of the things, the reason why this offense, once again, can score 30 points.
Let me ask you, so Matt LaFleur decided to go for a 57-yard field goal. 58 was Mason Crosby's longest of his career, and he has missed some bad field goals in Ford Field before. Do you think this was a decision based on he's got to get points because he can't necessarily expect his special teams and defense to help, or do you think he just had that much confidence in Mason Crosby?
That's why Matt LaFleur, his players love him, because he trusts his players. I love playing for a coach that trusts me. Just ask me man to man, can you make it? Can you make a 58-yarder my career long? Oh, yeah. After you've missed a few, extra points last week. But the one thing Mason can do, he can tackle. So that helps a lot, because special team coverage units, Tom, has not been very good. But the trust factor of Matt LaFleur and his players is not a reason. I mean, that's the reason why this team is winning. I mean, because going into this particular game, you didn't know if Philly could beat the Saints. You just know you had to go out and play. And, I mean, there are a lot of slogan heavy once you start to wrap up the division. I think the 20th time in the franchise since they've been doing all this stuff. But back-to-back Matt LaFleur winning this division is a big deal. So it's on the bigger and better things. But you must say something. This Detroit team was missing a lot of players. And you got to give them a lot of credit. They played hard today.
They did. I was very impressed with their run defense because, as you said, they had to be playing their safeties back and just taking away the deep part of the field from Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, and yet they still played the run pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, they had almost like a boxing one on Aaron Jones. I mean, Jamie Collins was just all over him. But again, their front played good. I mean, this is the second start for Lucas Patrick at left guard. He was having some issues, but that 4-3 front is just tough for the Packers. But again, the play calling was very good. Aaron Rodgers was masterful the way he dictated this, just the style of play. But not only that, Tom, it was a couple times this offense ate up, like 8 minutes, almost 12 minutes of the third quarter. I mean, that's just truly remarkable. But on the flip side, the defense, Detroit was able to do that. And then another thing, the opening drive, it's something about the opening drive at that particular place, or even with Detroit. The Packers don't normally come out fast. So already you're down 7-0. Then you got to get back into the swing of things. But I will say this team, if they can finally – I was good to see Tavon Austin out there because special teams is an issue. That has to get cleaned up, Tom. Otherwise – these good teams in this month of December going into January, their special teams are pretty good. So they got to make sure they fix that.
Yeah, special teams was really another kick in the gut. And
Yeah.
the number of holding penalties they had on defense was enormous. I don't know what the problem was. It looked like they were playing a little bit more man coverage. I noticed that they played Chris Barnes in the middle as opposed to Christian Kirksey from time to time. But again, they were grabbing and holding, and what do you think that was all about?
Well, sometimes it's fundamentals. You grab when you can't get in position. I mean, T.J. Hawkinson obviously was going to get a lot of targets. It's the tight end for Detroit, so they try to rotate linebackers and safeties on him. And the referees are going to call that anytime you get your hands outside the body. They're going to call that, and that just sustained drives because it's an automatic first down. But again, I thought Kenny Clark played one of his best games. I mean, the guy was pretty much unstoppable. And I think that really helps. And every now and then they will get pressure on Matthew Stafford. But once again, this defense, it just comes up with a big sack when they need it. And I think that's what it's all about. It's about stops. Can you get stops for your number one offense in the league and your MVP quarterback can score points? That's what it's all about in these last few games.
Yeah, it's can you get stops and can your offense hold on to the ball and dominate?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what they've done. What worries you if you're a Packer fan is what happens if they get up against a Pittsburgh defense or a Baltimore defense, and all of a sudden it's a tight game, and their defense is playing the way they do. I think that's what's going to gnaw at people's guts for a while until the defense just shows it can beat a good team.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about it. I think that's fair. I think it's fair to say that. I mean, I just think that for the most part, you just want to win games. I mean, they don't have style points anymore.
No.
But at the same time, you can't reward bad behavior because other teams see this kind of behavior when you're doing things that can hurt you. But it just shows how good this team really could be if they didn't have 10 penalties, things of that nature. But they're very aggressive, and I like the way Matt LaFleur and his players are all on the same page as far as being aggressive. And because Savage got a sack, they were going after the quarterback more than I've seen. And I think that's the good thing about Kamal Martin got a nice, pressure. But normally they would sit back in these zones and just kind of let quarterbacks pick them apart.
Yeah.
But they put down the run, which I thought Adrian Peterson would have they shut Adrian Peterson down. Swift, they shut all those guys down. And they put it all on Matthew Stafford, who Kenny Clark, who's hustling, who I got the game ball up otherwise. I mean, of course, got for the defense. I mean, put Matthew Stafford out with that particular hit, got his ribs, and next thing you know, you can bring in your backup, and after that, you say like it was over.
Yeah.
But I will say it's a learning. I think it's a learning curve for some of these guys still, Tom, because a lot of these guys wouldn't play if it wasn't a pandemic or if you had training camp. A lot of these guys would be special teams, but it's on the job training. So you may see a guy mess up here or there because they're learning. So with that being said, I give them room to make those improvements before we get into January.
Yeah. I will say it seems like anytime they bring someone up on offense, the guy is productive. Dominic Gaffney, they bring him. Who is that? And he comes in and he blocks pretty well. Tavon Austin, they bring him in. He had a couple of nice little catches, and they're going to expand his role. So this team is all about offense and how far can that offense take them. And right now it's taken them, 3 games away from home field advantage.
Yeah, if you can get MVS, he has 6 targets and caught all 6. If you get him to do that, you're dangerous. I mean, you really are. You're just a dangerous offense. I mean, not to mention when Aaron Jones really get going, it's just an offense to contend with. The offensive line got to stay healthy, though. They got to stay healthy. Lucas Patrick has to play a lot better. But, again, the weapons that you need are on the team now. There's nobody else coming through the door to change anything. Everybody you have to win a Super Bowl and get to a Super Bowl in your locker room. and all those guys believe in one another. So they just want to let everybody know, listen, it may not get pretty sometimes. Sometimes it may not even cover the spread. But the ultimate is about winning games. Because my thing is they got to be the 30-19 team. And the reason why I say that, Tom, they got to at least score 30 points. They got to try to hold their opponent to 19, or under if you want to get to the Super Bowl. Otherwise, good teams find ways to just kind of feel like whatever your weakness is, they'll exploit just that part, and that'll cost you from getting to the Super Bowl.
No question. No question. All right. Another game down, 3 to go. And we'll be following it all the way. And you got a couple sponsors you want to thank before we
I
go?
want to thank my Game Day brats. We got a new flavor now, which is we got the mild, we have the spicy, and the classic. It's almost like an Italian. So you can go to GameDayBrats.com and get some of those, and it'll tell you which area you can get them and go pick them up. Of course, we have Pick and Save. Pick and Save has been fantastic. Ivanhoe's Pub and Eatery. I appreciate that. And you guys looking for any kind of anti-bullying book, the best book for kids is just $10. It's something that's really been, me and my son love to read it. We read it again the other night. And of course, if you want to read, this is the holiday season, you can go to Frankie's Wreath Company.com and we order our second one for a good friend of ours, because when she heard it was handmade, she got all excited. So
Okay.
I just appreciate that. Appreciate the fans hanging in when we were a little delayed because of the your interviews, right?
Yeah, it's because of me. I take blame. I take the blame. They wouldn't take my question.
Our fans are great.
I'm low on the totem pole. They wouldn't take my questions. So they know I'm going to ask tough ones.
Yeah, and the last one is the Jewelry Center, too. Thank you for the Jewelry Center. Appreciate that. Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And don't forget, we'll have 5 questions and X's and O's this week. And hope you all have a great, safe week. And we'll see you in the middle of the week.
Bye.